What if I told you someone you know believes the moon landing was fake, and they were completely serious? Welcome to the 77 podcast. My name is Mara Evans.
My name's Reagan Kim.
My name's Jalen Kopp.
My name is Joseph Hope.
My name's Carson Gia.
My name's Kennedy Ortlieb.
My name is Zoe Clements, and we're going to talk about the reason why people believe in conspiracy theories.
A conspiracy theory is the belief that some influential or controlling organization or group is secretly responsible for a notable event or phenomenon.
We did some research, and in an article by the American Psychological Association, researchers found that overall, people were more motivated to believe in conspiracy theories from a need to understand and feel safe in their environment and a need to feel like the community they identify with is superior to others.
To add on to that, when I interviewed my roommate Jackson, who considers himself a skeptic of conspiracies and thinks people have a natural tendency to gossip, believing people will feel like they have a scoop or inside knowledge about the world, giving some a sense of community.
Jumping off of what Joseph said, I interviewed my brother asking, why do you think people believe in conspiracy theories? He said he personally believes people believe in conspiracy theories from knowledge passed on from generations above them or family traditions, or even cultural traditions. For instance, the chupacabra he believes is a cultural tradition.
I interviewed my grandmother, Marilyn Hedke. The reason I chose to interview her is because she's a common conspiracist. When asked if she believes in conspiracy theories, she said, "Yes, I do believe in some conspiracy theories. I don't think everything we're told is the full truth, especially when it comes to the government or big organizations. There have been things in the past that turned out to be true, even though people called them conspiracies at first, so I try to keep an open mind." When asked, "Do you know anyone who believes in conspiracy theories?" she said, "I think there's more going on behind the scenes with things like government decisions and what gets shown in the media. I've also heard theories about certain major events not being exactly how they were explained, and those make me question things. I don't believe everything I hear, but some of it just seems too suspicious to ignore. And yes, I do know quite a few people who believe in them. It's actually pretty common, especially with how much information is shared online." When asked her what her common conspiracy theories were, she said, "I've heard things about the moon landing being fake and the government hiding information about aliens in Area 51. Also theories about 9/11 not being fully explained."
Adding on to what Reagan said about Area 51, my mom also believes that there's some truth to that theory because she thinks it seems weird that we would be the only intelligent life in the entire universe, and she thinks governments definitely did experiments on aliens there.
And then after talking to my dad as well, in my interview, it seemed like he had the same impression where there was something more going on with Area 51, having talked to a previous Air Force member that had worked security there. Of course, there was a non-disclosure act, but from what my dad was let known, he was under the belief that it was a skunk operation where they would reverse engineer alien crafts to better human technology.
Speaking of government conspiracy theories, my brother brought up something about 9/11 and how he thought it was an inside job that is connected to the war in Iraq. He was saying that he thinks it was a weapon of mass destruction, but at the end of the day, they had zero evidence of weapons of mass destruction. Big events in our world often spark a surge in conspiracy theories. Events like elections, terrorist attacks, and pandemics. This can be caused by the want or need for an explanation. Having an explanation for a phenomenon, even if it sounds crazy, it can sound better to conspiracy theorists than no explanation at all. My article by PubMed defines multiple reasons for the beliefs behind these theories, such as epistemic, which is the need for understanding of events, existential, which is the need for control and safety, and social, which is the need to feel included in a certain group or organization.
Adding off that article, our expert, psychology professor Catherine Craig, explained that most people believe in conspiracy theories to not feel left out, even calling it a delusion of sorts. She also explained that gullibility varies person by person on how likely you are to believe a conspiracy in the first place.
And now our final article from Scientific American. Lots of research has shown that beliefs in conspiracy theories are associated with feeling powerless and uncertainty.
And that kind of has to tie in with my interview I had with my sister talking about my grandparents, where they believe that the 2020 election was stolen. And this kind of has to connect with Zoe's article talking about people believe in conspiracy theories because they need a feeling, they don't want to feel isolated and they want to feel validated. And I think that really applies to like what my parents or what my grandparents believe about like in elections and politically.
Based on our interviews, we also found that the older generations and the older people that we interviewed were more likely to believe in the conspiracy theories than the younger generations. Like my mom, she believed in conspiracy theories, and then my roommate, who's my age, didn't believe in them.
And then I had a similar setup to that where my father, he is very heavily into conspiracy theories around his 50s, and then my roommate does not really believe in much conspiracy theories at all, doesn't really give it much thought.
I definitely think that the older generation tends to believe in conspiracy theories more than the younger generation, just because they've been through lots of government quote-unquote schemes in a way, which is why I think they lean towards conspiracy theories more.
I also got the same output for my interviews. My step-grandma, she heavily believes in conspiracy theories, whereas my little sister, she doesn't believe in them and doesn't really know about them, which is surprising because the younger generations are a lot more on social media.
Yeah, that was kind of the same thing with my sister and my friend. They both don't really believe in conspiracy theories, but they see where people come from. They just don't believe them themselves.
I'm interested to see, do you guys believe in any conspiracy theories?
I myself personally believe in conspiracy theories. I think that aliens are real. I think that if people can believe that there's an afterlife, then why can't we believe that there's aliens living outside of Earth?
And then going off of that, I also do believe in conspiracy theories. I would say I believe in aliens, but just to change things up, I also am a skeptic of 9/11, where I'm unsure whether or not it was an inside job or not, but I would not be surprised. And what makes me think of that is the Operation Northwoods, which was a past incident involving JFK in Cuba, where the U.S. military had already greenlit and ready to go an operation that would essentially be a false flag attack on Cuba, using American civilians as collateral to motivate this war. And it was all completely stopped by JFK, and then shortly after, of course, he was assassinated, and it was scrubbed for 20 years until 9/11, where it's a very similar case of a false flag accusation from American civilians.
And kind of building off of that, I also am a little bit of a skeptic of 9/11, especially since the release of the Epstein files. There was just a lot of information that was released that wasn't previously known to the public, and it was very weird. And so I'm like, now since the release of the Epstein files, I'm less of a critic of conspiracy theories, and I'm more open to like hearing them, because I mean, we saw like even with like Pizzagate, like that turned out to be true, and like 9/11, like all this like weird stuff around 9/11, and then just like so many different ones that I'm like, okay, I'm not as much of a skeptic of conspiracy theories.
I actually don't believe in conspiracy theories, and the reason is that a lot of them seem super crazy and just like there's no way they could be true. And I feel like with social media, everyone is a detective on there, and they would figure out if any of it was true and they would release it.
I agree with that. I also don't believe in them a whole lot. I do find some interesting and have seen things that like sound that they could be true, but with social media and things like that, it's really hard to believe everything that you see.
Thanks for tuning in, and see you next week on the 77 podcast.